as negotiators from North and South Korea are meeting face to face for the first time in more than 2 years. And these are the first pictures from inside the talks in Panmunjom. Let's bring in CNN's Will Ripley, who is near the truce village. And these talks have been underway for a couple of hours now. High expectations. What can we expect to come out of these talks?
Well, you know, we've been speaking, Rosemary, with South Koreans who are here at this observatory, which actually looks right over the river to North Korea, who say that they're pleased that the talks are happening, but they don't have high hopes about what they will lead to. And that is because, frankly, the Korean Peninsula has seen many times discussions that start out in a very promising manner and then they fall apart and you end up back to square one. But nonetheless, the main objective here, we know, is to talk about North Korea's participation in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, which are just over a month away. And the North Korean delegation, which walked over the military demarcation line around 9:30 a.m. local time, that in itself pretty significant considering the fact that it was just in November when a North Korean soldier was fired at by his comrades as he defected across that same military demarcation line. He was shot 5 times and injured. And now this time you have these North Korean officials who were there and speaking to reporters at the Panmunjom Truce Village. The chief negotiator for North Korea, Ri Sung-gwan, told reporters briefly, I'm just going to read you this quote. He said, "We plan to hold today's talks in a sincere manner," and then he added, "It will go well." And so a good faith effort on all sides going into this, that they'll be able to hammer out some kind of a deal for starters around the Olympics, sorting out where the Olympic delegation will stay. South Korea really bending over backwards here to try to accommodate the North Koreans and their specific needs. They're going to need housing that is separate from the other international athletes. There was a talk of even bringing in a cruise ship that they could sleep on and they could stay on together and then, you know, leave the cruise ship as a group. North Koreans often they travel together and in groups when they leave their country. They don't walk around alone. And so those accommodations are being made. Their expenses will be taken care of, and there have been discussions in recent weeks with the International Olympic Committee about making an exception for the North Korean figure skating pair who qualified last year for the Games, but then lost their spot because North Korea missed a key deadline for the Olympics. So that is step one. Then moving forward, of course, the hope is that there will be more discussions, more talks about some of the bigger issues, divided families on the Korean Peninsula, and of course the biggest issue of all, Rosemary, North Korea's nuclear program.